Hi everyone and welcome to Miss Bailey Art Studio. Today we're going to be making some blinking dragon eyes, origami blinking dragon eyes. So this is what we're going to be making. So you can see it's quite interactive and lots of fun to make. And it is pretty simple. It's a simple origami fold, but I'm going to take you through it slowly. So you need to start off with a sheet of paper. It can be any size. So if you want to have an A3 size paper, you're going to have a really big dragon eye. I probably wouldn't do it any smaller than A4 though, because the folds may get a little bit fiddly. I'm also just using normal printer paper because I don't want it to be too thick. Now we do need a square piece of paper. So I'm going to show you how to make that. And we actually do need the little bit that we cut off to help us out later on when we're doing our art. So I'm just going to fold very carefully from one corner up and get a nice triangle, and I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut off my excess. So don't throw away this excess because you're going to need it. It's going to help us when we're doing our art later on. Brilliant. Go to one side. So once you've folded that way, I'm going to unfold it and I'm going to fold up again in half diagonally. Okay, when you are pressing down your folds, make sure you press them down nice and firmly so you've got a really nice neat fold. If you want to use the back of a ruler to do that, you can. Now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to take this corner and fold it into the center and press down, and I'm going to do the same with the top. Okay, so once I've done this, then I'm going to again fold up into the center. So this is a fairly easy origami fold because apart from folding to your center, you don't do much else. Try and get your folds straight so that they match up. Usually with origami you have to be very, very precise. If you're not 100% precise with this, it's not going to matter too much, but if you can fold it as close to as possible, that's really important. Okay, when I get to this stage, I'm going to unfold it all because I actually have to refold it backwards. So I've unfolded my sheet of paper. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to refold it. Now, this seems a little bit strange. I'm going to do exactly the same as I did on the other side. I've already folded it, so it's just refolding the little grooves the other way. This is what's going to create the inside of the dragon's eye. So when you get to this stage, when you've got two strips in the middle, you need to get a pencil and you're going to draw out a circle because that's where our eye is going to be. So I'm just going to draw out a large circle, sort of an ovally shape. It doesn't have to be a full circle, so it's just as long as you've got the rounded edges, because you're not going to see the rest of the eye. And when we draw eyes, we don't usually see the full round pupil. Okay, so it doesn't matter, I've got a bit of mistake there, that's fine. So now I'm going to continue to fold this up. So you can see now we've got a hidden dragon eye. So that's where our dragon eye is going to be. I'm now going to fold my piece of paper back over. And here's the middle line down here. I'm going to fold this point to the middle line and press it down. And then the same with this side to the middle point. Okay, now this is the only slightly tricky fold, and it's not that tricky really, but I'm actually going to draw it out for you so you can see what I'm doing. Don't draw it out on your own. I'm just drawing it out so you can actually see where I'm folding. So this is the middle line here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold from this point up. So I'm actually going to sort of fold across here like this. So you'll see it's going to go up above the middle line. That's okay. That's supposed to happen. This is what's going to help us make our eye blink. So I'm going to do that on each side. So again, I'm folding from that middle point out. Okay. So this is at our back, the back of our dragon, so we're kind of making a little diamond shape. Again, for this side, same thing, and again, you don't have to draw this out. I'm just drawing it in so you can see it. Okay, and because you've got a few layers of paper here now, it gets a little bit tricky. If you're finding it tricky to fold, maybe use a ruler to help you press it down. Okay, so now we've got, when we press it together, we're going to get our blinking eye. So you can see where I've drawn my eye in the middle, so I can see. Okay, so that is our dragon fold. Now what I'm going to do is switch on to VoiceOver so you can see how I actually decorate this piece. Remember, this is going to come in really handy. What we're actually going to do this is when we're colouring the outside part of my eye, I just want to make sure that the inside part is protected. So what we'll do is we'll actually unfold our eye, slip this in. It's a little bit big, but that's okay. And that will allow us to colour the inside part, the outside of our eye, without colouring over the beautiful eye that we've drawn on the inside. So this, we're going to use this as a bit of protection. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to colour in our dragon's eye, and I'm just unfolding my eye, and I'm choosing to use oil pastels to do this. You can use any medium, colour pencils, paints, but I chose to use oil pastels because they're nice and thick to lay down. You just need to be a little bit careful with them because they do smudge. So I'm going in and drawing the pupil of my dragon. I'm using sort of a slit shape pupil, so like an oval shape, and I'm leaving a little bit of white in it. Now that's really, really important for your eyes because that's called the catch light. That's what makes eyes look alive. If you accidentally forget your catch light, you can maybe use some Tipp-Ex or whiteout over the top to put it back in again. But to make an eye look realistic, you must have that little speck of white or light reflecting off the eye. I'm then going around my eye with some yellow, just to make it look a little bit unusual. And now I'm laying down some white pastel. The reason I'm doing this is to help me blend out some of my other colours. Now if I was using paint or colour pencils, I may not do that, but with oil pastels I'm just using the white to help me move my other oil pastels. So you can see, using my finger I can blend that out pretty easily. And I'm just going in with some darker shades of blue and layering them up and blending them together. You can choose any shade for your eye, dragon's eye, so you could use shades of green, shades of red. You can make it look really spooky. It's totally up to you, but what you need to do is go from the lightest colour out to the darkest colour, because that's going to help our eye look rounded and more realistic. The final thing I'm doing with my eye is just putting a little bit of black around the outside. So that's going to be like the outside lid of our eye. I'm making it a little bit pointy, and then I'm going to add in some green, because I've decided I'm going to have a green dragon. So whatever colour of dragon you've decided to do, you can use that on the outside. Now a lot of this we may not see, but I'm filling in that centre rectangle of my image. You'll sort of understand what I mean when you actually have it folded in front of you. You've sort of got that central rectangle that you can do. The final little bit of detail I'm putting on my dragon eye is just to put some little black lines around the outside to make it look again like you've got the iris around the outside of your eye. And you could do that in another colour, but usually it's in a black. So this is where our extra little bit of paper comes in really handy. Now again, if you're using colour pencils, you may not need, well, you probably actually will need this, so I won't say that. What it's going to do is it's going to protect where we've already drawn, so we can do the outside lids, and we're not going to get any of our paint or any of the medium that we're using on the outside onto our eye. So use that little bit of paper to help protect. So I'm going in now and cover, this is the eyelid for my dragon, and again I'm going through and I'm covering over that outside rectangle. A lot of it I won't see when I've got my dragon eye folded, but it's better to do more than you need and not have enough and have white gaps. So I'm starting off with some yellows and then going into some greens. Again, sort of more traditional colours, but we don't know what dragons look like. So you can see on my other one, I've used pinks and purples. You could have reds and golds would look amazing, or reds and oranges mixed together. A good tip for doing this and for having colours that blend together really well is to use colours that work together on the colour wheel. So next door neighbours on the colour wheel. So the correct name for that is analogous colours, but I like to call them the neighbours on the colour wheel. So blues going into greens, yellows going into greens, pinks going into purples, oranges going into reds, so colours that sit next to each other. The final thing that we're going to do to our dragon eye is we are going to put in some scales. So you can be as detailed with this as you want when you're putting in your scales. I'm just sort of doing this scaly pattern, starting off quite small around the eyelid and then getting large as I get further away. You could maybe take inspiration from the Rainbow Fish book and make some of those little scales metallic. You could put some glitter glue over the top if you wanted to make it look really special. If you've got some jeweled stickers, you might put those on. So you could add anything you want to this to make this look really cool. I'm just using a black pencil to draw into this. Now with oil pastel, that actually scribes in and takes off a little bit of oil pastel. You can see me wiping off my pencil. You could use black oil pastel to do this as well. The final thing I'm doing is just folding up my eye again, so you can see me open my eye and it starts to blink. You can see me turning it around, so I've got it up the right way. So that's our dragon's eye. That's how simple they are. They don't take long to do. You can make a whole heap of these, and you can see by making them even larger, they're going to look more dramatic. To get these to sit open, all I've done is taken a stapler and stapled the two little flaps at the back together. But if you actually want to have it as a blinking eye, you need to leave it undone so you can open and close it. So I hope you have fun making your own dragon's eyes. I'd love to see what you create. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the studio and have fun making art. Bye.